NYT ain't got nothing for me. I roll it up to smoke a little weed. Don't talk about RBG, yeah. Oh, they lie. Just a lot of fake news, a lot of fake news, yeah. We know that everything you do is a lie, guys. Why are you such fucking liars? Don Lemon is a bitch and you all know it. Don Lemon is a best friends with Jussie Smollett. This guy's just to grab your heartstrings. They're hoax perpetrators.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, yes, they're hoax perpetrators. Fake news.
Happy Solstice.
Hate crimes and culture. Taking some bucks from it. What a bitch with an Adam's apple. Hey, hey.
1221.
Ain't got nothing for me. The NYT is bullshit. CNN, MSM, all of it. Motherfucker, are you so dumb that you will swallow it? No.
Happy winter solstice.
Occasional cortex. Wow. I heard you got some dance moves, but your brain ain't got nothing much in it. Bill Maher in your red shoes. Is it suicide weekend for you? No. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's snowing in Calabasas. Bernie is a bitch. Epstein is formerly rich. 1221, take it away.
1221.
Epstein Island burns away.
Take it away. Epstein Island burns away. This is the remix. DJ.
Oh, well, I used to feel the burn. Used to feel the burn. But then I go a little bit of insight and realize that guy was stealing all the cash for houses all over the world. Are you tired of winning? Are you tired of winning yet?
Happy pagan holiday. This is a big one. This is the biggest one, I would think. I mean, it's why we celebrate this time of year. So happy to be celebrating near Christmas with you guys. This might be my last show before Christmas because we're going into a long weekend. So we'll see if you guys can convince me to come back. I hope everybody's looking forward to it. I hope you're doing well these holidays. The holidays can be difficult, right? So I appreciate being able to be a part of your life. I appreciate being a part of your life for this year. 2023, a very eventful year. A very eventful year in my life too. It went very sideways for a while. So I'm glad to be back on track. Glad to be with you guys. I have some news queued up for you today about some clips from Tucker Carlson in particular, who's talking about aliens and the nature of aliens. And I believed I was in contact myself with something. Oh, I got something here. With something otherworldly from the other side. And so that's what Tucker's talking about. But speaking of the other side, we have tons of migrants crossing the border too, and now they're being flown all over the country rather than being put on buses. So I'm going to show you that news just so you're up to speed on it. I'm sure you've seen it. The migrant invasion is real. And now people are starting to see them at airports on their planes with them. And they seem to be extra concerned. So I'll show you that news too. I'll show you Nikki Haley saying something crazy. Show you some funny videos to start out. Let's check in with the chat. You guys like the Isaac Cappy stream? Truth Bite says, Al Shizzle, what's up? What's up, John? What's up, Rock Girl? Austin 108. We have survived another year without a solstice plasma apocalypse. Thank God. Nuckfugget says, and peace be with you, Bitcoin Jesus. Thank you. Truth Bite says, I want to wish everyone a happy Merchant's Day. Is today a Merchant Day? So I have some shirts going out. People have been buying some stuff from our store. We're having a sale right now. So let me run that across the bottom of the screen. We're having a sale right now at our t-shirt shop, truthclothing.io, with the code MARY25. It's difficult to get anything in time for Christmas now. Have you done your Christmas shopping? You can tell me in the chat. We're going to go out for a meal for Christmas. We're planning that today. So do you guys like to go out, or do you like to cook something for yourself? I find going out, I like it. It's easier. It's expensive, but it's expensive getting everything for a Christmas meal too. Speaking of expensive, Walmart now has buy now, pay later at their self-serve kiosks, apparently. So you can get everything on credit. And we're due in 2024 for some kind of financial reckoning, I would think. But here I've been doing this for my channel, the original Lift the Veil channel, started November 22nd, 2015, and now we're in 2023, so that's 8 years. 8 years I've been predicting a financial apocalypse, and for 8 years nothing's happened. I'm not the only one. Robert Kiyosaki, Peter Schiff, for a long time people have been predicting it, and so far it hasn't come to pass. What has come to pass, though, is that Bitcoin is doing well, is looking good right now. It's around 44,000. And Solana, holy cow. I talk about it. I talk about Solana. I've been talking about it this year. It's up 800% this year, I believe. I just saw that on the chart. 60% in the last 30 days. So that shows you how crypto can move. Ethereum is like the next. I'm sorry, Solana is like the next Ethereum. I said Solana, right? Not Ethereum. Solana's up a lot. And a lot today. A lot today and a lot yesterday. I could show you the chart for it. It went up from 70s to 90s now. Jedi 3301 Live, what's up? Hope you're doing well with your cannabis excursions. Smoking that cannabis, that lets the demons come in, I believe. That's one way. It's alcohol and cannabis, and then crystal meth, cocaine. Lots of different drugs allow different kinds of spirits to come through us. You have to listen to what Tucker says about it. I'll show you this chart just because I'm looking at it. Here's Solana. Daily chart. Last 2 days have been pretty big. Hopefully you guys got some. If you need any help with cryptocurrency, or just a reminder, you can reach out to me. We have the Bitcoin ETF about to launch. Apparently there was an all hands on deck meeting today. So there was actually some news in it. I'm going to turn off the music. All right. And now a moment of silence for Isaac Cappy. So let's get to the videos, huh? You want me to show you? Oh, I'll play my intro and then we'll get to the videos. I'll show you what I have. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman, and I bring you the news, the real news. Yeah, and some funny videos. So I'll start you out with this one. We have, do you guys, I don't know, it must be a generational thing. But when I learned about dating, I learned that you're supposed to pay for it. Otherwise, you'll be looked down on as a man. That's what I learned very quickly, that women prefer it if you pay. And then they also like it if you buy them flowers and those kinds of things too. But they prefer when you pay. Well, apparently the latest generation is not like that with all the soy boys and snowflakes. So anyway, here's a video of a female learning that she likes it when a guy is a man's man and actually pays for drinks and food. So I'll show you that clip. That's making the rounds today. Here you go. This is how her mind was quickly changed.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. I live on the east side of LA, and if you don't know what that means, it's sort of like the artsier part of LA. You know, it's people say it's like Brooklyn and New York. Like, so I go on dates with a lot of men and women who, you know, live over here. There's always a negotiation about who pays, and that's great. I like to pay for people, all that. But what I will say is that I sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on a date with. And he's from West, you know, Santa Monica. He's a bro, right? A guy's guy is usually not my type. Like, I cannot remember the last time that I went on a date with like a straight bros bro. You know what I'm saying? But it befell me. It befell me in an organic fashion. So I'm on this date with this guy. And the thing about a guy's guy is he's putting his card down. He's paying for everything. And I really it sort of activated something feral in me. I'm not gonna lie. We went to like another bar and he was gonna go to the bathroom. So I was getting prepared to pay for our drinks because he's been paying all night. Of course I'm gonna pay for the next round. But as he's going to leave for the bathroom, he turns to me and he hands me his credit card. And he goes, "Here's my card. Get us whatever." It might be time for me to get away from all these, you know, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
There you go. So there's hope after all. Women understand. Well, you know, it's there are things in our genetics. There are things in our DNA code that are that you can't actually, like, we're coded. Everything is coded. We're coded. We're programmed. Women are programmed to like that because they're programmed to find someone who can provide for them and the children that they're going to have. No matter what, even as they get older, it doesn't change the program. Even if they're not having kids anymore or what have you, they still biologically want someone who can protect them, and money does that. So anyway, that's the liberal feminist who came around. Did you see her biting her finger? She was so excited that the guy said to pay for drinks. I remember when it wasn't really a question. I'm 45, but I think I'm right on the cusp. I'm almost a millennial, apparently, but I'm Generation X, and Generation X is the one that's supposed to save the world. So anyway, there's that clip. Hey, we have a clip that looks like it's straight out of Grand Theft Auto, but possibly a guy catching an alligator with his trash can. You guys want to see that? I'll play that for you. This is a viral clip. Here's the guy. I like everybody playing. I haven't seen the whole video. Not sure if he's going to take it back to the pond or something. He's going to take it all the way back to the pond, maybe. Oh, that's insane. He's taking him back to where he belongs.
Let him go, bro.
I have to see how it ends. He's taking him all the way down. There you go. Hey, Sumi. You want to say hi? Come here. Sumi, you want to look at the alligator? Can you see it? Pretty funny clip. Here's Sumi. We took her to the doctor yesterday. Oh my God, it was so expensive. Some things are very expensive these days. We took her to the eye specialist because she has special eyes. That bug out of her face. Thanks for the super chat, Job for 9. I noticed that all the good streamers have dogs bothering them during the show. So Viva Frey, Russell Brand, everybody's got dogs. I don't know if Jimmy has them on all the time. Thanks, Job for 9 for the super chat. Man, that's really nice. She says, hey, Nathan, can you do a live about Nassim? I don't think so. Especially not on YouTube. I have to be careful. I have to be careful even promoting our Nassim. I've thought before that just promoting, the Nassim thing was maybe a little too much for YouTube. So, yeah, don't think so because of what she did, allegedly, right? Somebody asked me if Nassim was a man. And actually, I have to reply to that. I don't think so. I think Nassim is a woman, but what's his name said, what's his name? Can't remember right now. I can't remember. He said that Nassim was a girl. The guy was there at Google, the Google whistleblower, Zach Voorhees. Zach Voorhees claimed that it was a trans person who did that, but I don't think so, based on watching all of her videos. So thanks, Bucket Food. It says, Merry Christmas, Nathan and family. Thank you, guys. Meteor Dream says, are you aware of the Due Dissidents podcast? No, I haven't seen that one yet. All right, so now let's get to more clips. I have Tucker Carlson on aliens. And we want to think about that. Are aliens visiting us? Did they teach us about civilization? Like, where did we get the idea for civilization? Was it from otherworldly spirits? Was it from things beyond the veil, beyond the things we can see? I feel right now like, they talk about people becoming a walk-in, or, that you might have a spirit walk into you and change your life. I felt the need to make videos in 2015. Where did that come from? Oh, thanks, Job for 9. Appreciate that. $10 super chat. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Gamarama says it'll be tomorrow, you say, 12/22. Special date also. You shall honor Nassim on Hoaxworth Christmas special. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll tune into that. Or maybe I'll be invited on as a guest. I didn't know the Christmas special was coming early this year. Thanks for that. That's going to be Friday night, huh? Okay, Gamarama. Maybe I'll check in with the boys, see if we're back on the same page together. All right, let me play you a little Tucker Carlson talking about the implications of aliens. All right, I'll play that for you.
It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here. And I do think it's spiritual. That's my view. So, and again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think
I'm with you. Absolutely.
I think if the U.S. government has in fact had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say. Whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is true, I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah, a lot of people say interdimensional beings.
Right. I want to ask: are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
These are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Entity.
But one thing I know for a dead certain fact, having seen it, is that there is good and evil, that we are being acted upon at all times. And I think every person can feel that in himself. I mean, there are moments when you are moved to do things that are much better than you actually are, and that are also more evil and destructive than you actually are. You are subject to forces from outside yourself That is absolutely true. Now we can argue about what they are, but every person in the room, if he's reflective, will tell you, yes, I know what you're talking about. And so there are forces that are not human, that do exist in a spiritual realm of some kind that we cannot see. And that when you think about it, sort of make you think we live in an ant farm.
Yeah.
Being right. And that's
Absolutely.
that is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's many.
There you go. That is real. So we are being influenced. I could say that too. Yeah, we are being influenced. There are ways to get yourself more susceptible to the influence. And I've looked for those ways before. Cannabis is one of them. You can be, and artists, musicians talk about it, like Jim from Baltimore was saying it helps him. All of a sudden he's playing stuff. His fingers are doing things. He doesn't know why. Some people hit their head, right? And then suddenly they're a concert pianist. All of a sudden, you've seen those stories, right? So yeah, there are ways and things from previous lives and stuff. And the fact that we have eternal spirits and that we're here even when we're gone. So like Isaac Cappy somehow lives on, right? So that's one Tucker clip. So yeah, you have to decide what you think about aliens and demons. And actually, sometimes I know Christians have different beliefs about it. Like they don't think you should ever channel anything because you could be channeling demons, and that aliens are demons. So I've seen that in the chat before. I wonder if there's a question I could ask to see if you guys think aliens are aliens or if you think aliens are demons. But I know a lot of people have said that before. When I had someone on the show who channels extraterrestrials or extra dimensional beings, people said, yo, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. So I'm curious what you think about it. You can say it in the chat. So here's Tucker Carlson on Las Vegas. I don't think they say anything. It just, there's nothing that would be censored about it. But I remember the Las Vegas shooting was one of the most censored events in YouTube history. And my channel may have been deleted for a second because of my coverage of Las Vegas. It was like you couldn't ask questions about it. But now Tucker's talking about it. This is at the Turning Point USA event where Tim Pool and Tim Pool was on stage with him and kind of doing his show, and Tucker Carlson joined. And so that's where we got the aliens as demons clip. Now Tucker's been making the rounds because he's launching his new network, which we wish him the best on. I wonder if Tucker could succeed on YouTube. I wonder why he can't, actually, like what about his show would be censored? But I guess that's just what they do. The censorship industrial complex. So he's decided to go to his own website instead. But lots of clips of him. Here's a clip with him with Jack Posobiec talking about Las Vegas. Let me play that clip for you.
Ask. I know you're doing the Tucker Carlson original still, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that you might do an episode, long form, on Las Vegas?
On Las Vegas. Oh, on the shootings?
Oh, yeah. The largest mass shooting.
Man, I could bore you for
history.
hours on this. I mean, we went so deep into that. I went out to Vegas twice
And
talked to
no one talks
everybody.
about it.
Oh, I know. We got
The
hassled.
gun lobby doesn't talk about it.
Well, there is no gun lobby in the United States. There's the NRA, which is like a shill for
Well, the anti-gun lobby. Gun
No.
control.
the gun
lobby.
control people. Oh, you're
They don't-
right.
they don't bring it up.
You're right.
They don't bring it. They'll
Um,
talk about Sandy Hook. They'll talk about Parkman.
No, I know.
Every school shooting.
Oh, I
they'll talk
know.
about all day long. They'll never talk about the largest mass shooting in history.
And I'm just gonna be totally blunt with you. I mean, I expended so much mental energy, and as noted, I'm no genius, but I really did try my sincere best because it smelled wrong. And I very often have no idea what the truth is, but I can spot a lie at 100 yards, and that story was covered in lies.
Well,
covered in lies.
You know what it is? You know what it is too? It's gun guys, right? Guys who understand firearms, guys who go shooting or have had like a modicum of military training. They look at those pictures and they listen to the sound, right? Guys who have been on the range. And I said this a day. I said, that doesn't sound like a bump stock to me.
I agree.
But that sounds like a belt fed.
I totally agree with you. And I am a gun guy.
Like-
and a lot of that didn't make sense at all.
Because there's a distinct, it's like a rat-tat-tat sound.
Right.
Like I've heard it a million times. You're not going to tell me I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I don't know. And also,
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, you're not putting me on the spot at all. I'm fascinated by the story, but the official account of where his body was found, at what point it was found, there are about 15 data points in the story that are clearly untrue. What is true, I don't know.
You know which one hangs me up?
What?
Why does he stop shooting?
Well, I agree. There's so much.
Plenty of ammo, plenty of guns.
So I will say this about X, and this is one of my biggest problems with it. There's too much truth. And if you discover, especially if you're my age and you my dad worked for the government and including the intel agencies, and you sort of believe in our system and we're fighting the Soviets and we're obviously on the right side, and we were on the right side of that fight.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like a nice
exactly. It
country.
sounds nice. But to discover in a 6-year period, really all at once, that all the institutions you believed in and all the popular history that you accepted as true is a lie, and that the people you thought were the good guys are actually the drivers of a lot of the world's evil, and certainly most of the chaos in the world. It's like a lot to take. I'm just being honest. It's a lot to take.
Yeah,
and I try to be unflinching, and I have a total sincere dedication to telling the truth. But man, the toll it takes to learn all this stuff.
You know,
That's true. Oh, that's true. I remember my awakening moment came. It was after my mother died, and I was reading Zero Hedge back in 2015 because I was interested in stocks and the stock market and economics. And I saw a video about 9/11 by Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. And I watched that video and I was like, holy crap. And I was like, it does take a toll. It does take a toll. Looking into the darkness takes a toll. Just look at Alex Jones. How old is Tucker Carlson? Who do you think's older, Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones? Let's see. How old is Tucker Carlson? Looks like he's 54. 54. Who do you think is younger? This is pretty funny, actually. Who do you think is younger, Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones? Alex Jones has been staring into the abyss for way too long, obviously. He's only 4 years older than me, Alex Jones, and Tucker is 54. So, yeah, I don't know what it'd be like. I learned I was like 36. I was like 36 when I first learned about 9/11. I can't tell you about it exactly, but when I first started watching videos about it. So, and that it spun me for sure. I remember the moment, like I was like, oh my God, like things aren't the way I thought they were. You know, the whole world, the landscape, it actually changes reality. This is how truth changes reality. And Tucker Carlson is changing reality too. All of us who put something down on the timeline are changing reality, because reality is like what you perceive it to be. And history, like what led up to this moment, is reality. So when you learn that 9/11 might have been a little different, then you really can get thrown for a loop. I remember that. Then I started watching videos, and God, things were so much different back then. You can say, if you want to spam the chat with the year you woke up, that would be a good one. KDD can't believe it. What, that Alex Jones is younger than Tucker Carlson by like 6-7 years or something? Yeah, I know. Joe Rogan's 52. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, that's why people say, you know, Alex Jones might not be who you think he is. Alex Jones might not be Alex Jones. And he might really be 60 or 61 years old rather than 49. He might be about 12 years older than he says he is, based on the person he might be. So anyway, here's Tucker Carlson again talking about George W. Bush, who has to do with 9/11.
Magazines.
Right. No, but I mean, I just didn't. But we were like pretty legit conservative in my family, and they weren't at all. And we just, I guess, didn't get it or something, you know. And George H.W. would show up, and he had just wonderful manners, and he wrote thank you notes, and he wore Grosgrain, you know, watch bands, and loved spaniels, and like looked just like my family. So I mean, I just identified with him in a way that was non-ideological, and I missed I mean, I can't believe I'm admitting this. I feel embarrassed, but it's just true. And I want to be honest, missed like the degree to which they were subverting true and important conservative impulses, and not even ideological impulses, but just like, hey, let's not wreck our country.
Yeah.
And they were not at all interested in the country at all. And the father had clearly participated in some of the biggest cover-ups in American history that we should all be offended by, including the Kennedy assassination. So how did I miss all that? Well, because I don't know, for those reasons that I mentioned. That's
right.
how.
Not reading Human Events.
Right.
Yeah.
But Human Events didn't miss it at all.
Human Events doesn't miss anything.
No.
You know, and it's funny though, because I'll see some people, they'll go, oh, now that Posobiec is doing Human Events, that he's turned the publication into this conservative grassroots method. I'm like, no, it's always literally been that exact thing.
Always. And it was always counterculture in a nice way. And but the Bushes, man, that was very insidious.
Oh yeah.
They were the Obamas of the right, I would say. It was a stealth operation, and you didn't sort of feel it at the time. It kind of came over you gradually, and by the time you realized it was happening, like a lot of the things you loved were gone. And all of a sudden, George W. Bush is admitting, giving China most favored nation status and getting us involved in these wars that had no benefit to the United States and things like that. And that was like, they called it good and patriotic. And in fact, it was the opposite of both of those things.
The most favored nation.
People are shouting out the different years that they woke up. Starduster way back in 2001. Does it get easier or does it get harder? Does the rabbit hole get deeper? Because then eventually you get to satanic ritual abuse. Eventually you get there. And I covered that starting in 2016 or 2017, like organized, not ritual, organized, underground, satanic ritual abuse. And then that's when things get really dark. And you can run into some really unsavory people who are literally trying to channel demons, who really are. So we'll see if Tucker goes all the way there. I've gone all the way down. And it did take a toll on me mentally, I believe. But we're still here. And we're still here. That's the most important thing. All right. Now let me tell you a little bit about the reaction to the Colorado Supreme Court ruling. So the Colorado Supreme Court ruling was just, I didn't even think about it much. They say he participated in insurrection. It was not an insurrection. That's the main thing. They say he created an insurrection. It wasn't actually an insurrection by like legal definition. So Robert F. Kennedy is saying that Colorado Supreme Court ruling makes America look like a banana republic. Why doesn't every American understand that if they can do this to a former U.S. president, everyone is vulnerable to punishment for crimes with which they have never been convicted? Democracy would be a total shambles. So he tweeted that this morning. So he's also saying that he's not gonna, so he's kind of taking Trump's side on this. Some people say, Trump's poll numbers are just going to go up. It's the dumbest thing ever. They're trying to do it in other states. Here's again Tucker, but with somebody on his show, saying that states could remove Biden and Kamala Harris from the ballots for the same reason. So here's that clip. I'll play that for you.
Is it legal in the United States to punish someone for a crime he's never been convicted of committing?
Yeah, I think that's the key issue, that no one has ever charged Donald Trump with a formal crime of insurrection, nor has he been convicted of it. So if a particular judge just by fiat says he's guilty of insurrection, it's contrary to the Constitution. It's contrary to the 14th Amendment that says people shall not be denied in an earlier section of the right of due process. So I don't think a person can just arbitrarily pick some candidate and say, you know what, I think you're an insurrectionist. And so we're on new ground. But more importantly, all the issues that you raised about January 6th really cast into doubt whether it was more of a buffoonish riot at times than a conspiracy. You don't have an insurrectionist when the supposed head of the insurrectionists tells a group of unarmed people to assemble peacefully. That's not an insurrection. And more importantly, we have a lot of other evidence. We have people in the Capitol Police that had warned that there was not enough security, and for some mysterious reason, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, would not beef up security. We have Matthew Rosenberg, who was a Pulitzer Prize journalist, who was there and said that he saw FBI informants everywhere. And when asked about that, the director of the FBI would not answer. We never got the accurate information about how many people were killed, under what circumstances they died. We have people in the Congress claiming there were 5 and 6 people who were killed that day when they actually committed suicide much later. So there was an effort of the January 6th committee to suppress free debate and cross-examination. So the idea that he's guilty of an insurrection is preposterous, but it does beg this question. We've had people all through our history who have questioned elections. In 2004, Barbara Boxer, a U.S. senator, along with over 30 House representatives, did not certify the Ohio electoral vote. They tried to stop George Bush's re-election. In 2016, you remember, Tucker, we had all of these celebrities that were organized by the DNC that cut commercial after commercial, begging the electors to renounce their constitutional duty and not reflect the popular vote in their own states, but to throw their elector votes over to Hillary Clinton, even though she didn't win their states. So it's kind of preposterous. And, you know, when he's talking about insurrection, it's a very fluid definition. Kamala Harris, you remember, Tucker, in 2020, right after some of the worst violence in Washington, D.C., and during those 120 days, that was an insurrection by their own definition, because they torched a federal courthouse, a police precinct, the historic St. John's Episcopal Church. They tried to swarm the White House grounds and sent the President of the United States into a bunker. And during that very incendiary time, Kamala Harris, who was soon to be nominated vice president and who is the current vice president and who would be president if an ailing Joe Biden is not able to fulfill his duties, said these demonstrations, or whatever we want to call them, are not going to stop. And then a key word, she said they should not stop. And they're going to go on and on and on, all the way to the election. We had the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, in 2020, lead a kind of a mob outside the Supreme Court, the very doors of the Supreme Court. He called out 2 justices by name: Gorsuch, Kavanaugh. You have sowed the wind, you are going to reap the whirlwind. And then the key words, you don't know what's going to hit you.
There you go. So yeah, who else is incited an insurrection if Donald Trump did? When he said, please assemble peacefully. So there you go. That's the part of it that's really the most ridiculous, is there was no insurrection. I don't know where you're allowed to, you weren't even allowed to comment on it, I don't think, at the time. But time passes and you're able to talk about things. Now time has passed since Las Vegas. With certain things, though, you never want to get near, like the event in Connecticut, which happened around this time of year in 2014, I believe it was. That one still can't talk about. Still probably don't want to talk too much about certain other events either, but insurrection. All right, let me show you. So yesterday I showed you that Vivek Ramaswamy said that he would pull his own name off the ballot in Colorado if they won't let Trump run. So, and he called on Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and everybody else who's in the race to say the same thing, to commit to the same thing. So what did Ron DeSantis say about it? Okay, he was on Newsmax. I'll play that.
And real quick, fellow GOP 2024 presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy saying he will remove himself from the Colorado ballot unless Trump's eligibility is restored. Would you do the same?
No, I think that's just playing into the left. I think the case will get overturned by the Supreme Court, but I've qualified for all the ballots. I'm competing in all the states, and I'm going to accumulate the delegates necessary. That's the whole name of the game in this situation. But I do anticipate that decision was political and will get reversed.
Well, there you go.
All right, Governor Ron DeSantis, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
So he said he's going to go ahead and stay on the ballot. A lot of people are upset about that at Ron DeSantis for saying that. Thanks. I want to say thanks to Michelle Obama is a man who tipped $5 over on Rockfin. Appreciate you guys on Rockfin. Thanks for watching. We have, at least we have 8 people tuned in over there. I hope you're getting your notifications over on Rockfin. You are premium members too. And just a reminder, if anything gets deleted from YouTube, it gets stored on Rockfin. Everything is stored on Rockfin. Even the episodes when I was totally insane, I think are still on Rockfin. So, all right, that's the news about Colorado. Now let me tell you about the immigration thing and show you what people are reporting. There are some reporters on the ground. There's some young people at airports, at the border, reporting on the migrant crisis. So in February of 2022, the TSA gave illegal immigrants the freedom to fly. So here's an announcement from February 3rd, 2022. Last week, the Transportation Security Administration confirmed that they've allowed illegal immigrants to use their arrest warrants as valid proof of ID to board flights in the United States for more than a year. That was in 2022. So it had been going on since 2021. It says, if you are an illegal migrant, your arrest warrant may be used as a valid form of ID to fly within the United States. Can you believe that? So that's going on. Let me show you Ashley St. Clair, who is there at an airport with migrants. Play that.
I'm at the Phoenix airport right now. I'm waiting to board my flight to New York, to JFK. And it looks like we have a whole lot of migrants who are also boarding this flight that the U.S. taxpayers are paying for. This is what the U.S. taxpayers are paying for right here. Premium seats on Delta that they have people coming here. We're paying for this, shipping them out to New York City because guess what? Everywhere else is at capacity. So they have these sanctuary cities like New York that they're now shipping these migrants to that we're all paying for.
Yeah,
I'm at the Phoenix airport.
I think actually the states are paying for it. I think the states are paying to send the migrants to those sanctuary cities. Here's James O'Keefe, who's at the airport in Phoenix. So Arizona is where a lot of these immigrants are coming in. So here he is at the airport in Phoenix, chasing after a bus that's dropping off migrants. Play that.
O'Keefe outside Phoenix Sky Harbor. The migrant buses are pulling up here. We're going to take a look at what's going on right now. Outside door 21, Phoenix Airport. Running towards the bus right now. We're at the migrants bus. This is the migrants coming in right now. You see here, sir, are you a migrant? Are you coming in from the country illegally? Here we are at Phoenix Sky Harbor. We're dropping off the buses, sir. Sir? Sir? This is James O'Keefe with OMG. Are you dropping off migrants at the airport?
Am I?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm a journalist, I'm an investigative reporter, and a lot of the airline people here are talking about buses pulling up to the airport. Are those migrants from the border you just dropped off?
That's correct.
And who do you work for? This is for James O'Keefe Video Investigation. Who do you work for?
What are you investigating?
I'm investigating why buses are pulling up to Phoenix Sky Harbor and they're dropping off illegal immigrants, migrants, and a lot of the people at the front desks are upset about it. People working for the airlines. Why are they upset about it?
They're upset about people who are airline tickets special.
They're upset because of the hygiene. Hygiene on the airplanes, and there's some concerns and health concerns.
I'll take that up with the city or the state.
Just take that up with the city
or the state.
Who do you work for?
What does it matter?
Do you work for the government or the airlines?
I don't work for neither.
Well, it matters because the public has a right to know.
And we take that up with the city or the state.
Can you tell me who you work? I can find out.
I mean, I work for Jet Limousine.
You work for Jet Limousine. And who hired you?
I don't know who contracted us.
You don't know who contracted you? And what's your name? I mean, I can find out.
You can find out what
all right. And
I mean, there's nothing nefarious going on here at all whatsoever.
How many trips do you take a day? What time?
Take pictures.
Have you heard of James O'Keefe Phenology before?
I've heard of the name James O'Keefe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, does it concern you that dropping off all these migrants at the airport?
Does it concern me?
Yes.
As far as what?
Just, I mean, where do you pick them up?
That I cannot.
You can't disclose where you pick them up?
No, because I don't tell anybody where I pick up any of my clients.
Okay. And your name is, it's Jet Limousine?
Limousine company,
Limousine company. Okay, you pick them up at the border, I assume.
I don't pick up anybody at the border.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. All right, there it is. The buses are pulling up. The buses are pulling up at the airport here, and they let people off the bus. I'm at Terminal 3, Phoenix Sky Harbor, and there you have it, pulling up. A lot of the people at the airport are upset. The migrants then come into the airport and go to the desk to work with American Airlines here. Come right off the bus into the airport and go right to the front desk. There they are right there, being served by the airline.
So anyway, that's going on. Migrants being flown all over the country during the holidays. Here's a clip from El Paso, Texas, with people at the border. Play you this. So yeah, we've had so many illegal immigrants. It's insane. It's not something that I haven't covered much before today, really, the migrant crisis. But it's gotten that it's out of control. I don't know if they're sending them to California. They're definitely not sending them here where I live. But these cities must be getting totally overwhelmed with migrants. And then Trump said it's going to infect the blood. And they called him a Nazi for saying that. But here's a scene. Where is this scene from? This is from the border. It doesn't say where. I'll play you this clip though.
Taylor Hansen here with Tenant Media. Right now I am directly in the area where they are all waiting processing. You have over 1,000 migrants here. It's about, I would say, 5:30 a.m. in the morning. But let me take you through a quick little walkthrough real quick. As you can see, they're all wearing these silver blankets. It's pretty cold out here right now. And we're just going to walk directly in here and see what we can do here. Some of these people have been waiting, over 24 hours awaiting processing here in Texas. Just take a look around the sheer amount of people here. You easily have 1,000 people. Border Patrol is actually heading a few miles down and picking these migrants up down the street. Instead of making them walk, they're giving them rides into this little area while they're awaiting processing.
Man, it's crazy. They all got those silver blankets
Keep walking
too.
through here to kind of give you the idea of how many people are actually just confined in this one area.
Just sleeping on the ground. It's cool. You see that. You see what's going on there. Let me show you. Here's another clip of someone from Guinea saying it's going to Philadelphia.
Where are you from?
Guinea Conakry.
Where?
Guinea Conakry.
Guinea. Okay. And where in the U.S. do you want to go to?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Why Philadelphia?
I have paper. I don't know the place. Let me check the place. Want to say the place.
Okay, so just an address in Philadelphia to go to? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So he's going to, and that is the address of a local community center that he's been given. So we're just taking them in. We're taking them in, and nobody's doing anything about it. Yeah, the Republicans are trying to pass a bill that has border funding. So here's people in Chicago who basically are starting to want Donald Trump to come in and take care of the migrant problem. People are upset, and minorities can be even more upset that they're not getting any money and that these illegal migrants are. So here's a clip from Chicago.
Advocating for black people. Trump, come in here, clean this mess up. The most corrupt city in the United States is the city of Chicago.
$9,000 going to illegals, but those who live here have not gotten funding yet. My husband is a veteran. Now, you know I got a heart for that. We got a lot of these on the street.
Strictly advocating for black people.
There you go. So people are fed up. People are getting fed up with the state of things, so much so that they're willing to turn toward Donald Trump over Joe Biden. So I don't have any more recent polling on that, but there you go. So here's a story. Well, I have more stories about the migrant crisis. Texas is flying migrants to sanctuary cities, and he's flying them to Chicago O'Hare. So here's more video of people boarding a flight, migrants boarding a flight that I guess is going to Chicago. So I just showed you the clip from Chicago. So there you go. All right. So that's news. I have a comment in my chat. I'll answer. Someone says, do I know a YouTuber named David Schurter? Yes, David Schurter has been a guest on my show, as a matter of fact. So, and I believe I can text him and stuff. He lost faith in me for some reason or something, but it's not a big deal. I wasn't trying to have him on. But yeah, I know David Schurter. I've talked to him personally and stuff. Glad he's still alive. He's always worried that he's like on the cusp of being killed by the deep state. So Streeko says now they get a free plane ticket anywhere, a duffel bag full of clothes and electronics, and a $5,000 a month debit card. Is that verified? I haven't heard that yet. I haven't heard that yet. $5,000 a month on a debit card. Is that for real? Thanks, Street Ghost. Thanks for the commentary. All right. So in other news, let's see what we have here. I have RFK Jr. Let me see what I have. I have buy now, pay later at Walmart now. So everybody's doing buy now, pay later, which is a bad idea. You shouldn't take out credit unless you pay it off every month, because eventually it's going to build up and you pay crazy interest rates on your credit. And I know I'm a victim of I'm a perpetrator of getting credit and using it, which was a mistake at the time. But I take accountability for it. But yeah, buy now, pay later for basic items at Walmart. And this is after people were doing buy now, pay later earlier for Black Friday. Black Friday saw a surge in people doing buy now, pay later. Amazon offers buy now, pay later. We could offer it on our website, truthclothing.io. We choose not to, because we don't think people should be paying for our shirts in installments. But yeah, eventually you got to pay eventually. And we're $34 trillion in debt as a country. So eventually we have to pay that off too. Here is, let's see what else I have for you guys today. Nikki Haley just being insane. I'll play that clip. Claiming that Hamas's attack on Israel was a blessing. The war in Ukraine is basically over, I believe, because we're not giving them support anymore and they can't survive without American money and arms. So here is Nikki Haley on October 7th.
Putin hit rock bottom? Hamas invaded Israel and did all that brutality on October 7th. October 7th is Putin's birthday. Who's the happiest person in the world right now? Putin. Why? Because the U.S. and the West took all their eyes off of Ukraine, and what did we do? Started looking at Israel. Did Putin call Netanyahu? Nope, not for 10 days. You know who he did call? Hamas. They came the next day and they held hands and said they were friends. We now know that Russian intelligence is what helped Hamas know how to get through that barrier. See the connection. If we supported Ukraine and supported Israel, that's only 5% of our defense budget.
There we go. Great. 5% of our defense budget. Our defense budget is like $800 billion. We should be against the arms business. We should be against the industrial, the defense industrial complex, the weapons industrial complex. We should be against that. We would be against that if we were Democrats back in the day. Military industrial complex. Sometimes I can't find the words. Sometimes they don't come through. We should be against the military industrial complex. She is all for the military industrial complex. Vivek is actually calling for her to release her tax returns and clients of her defense contractor. That's what Vivek is calling for based on, he posted that clip. So here's RFK Jr. talking about what he shares with Joe Biden, what views he shares.
But you were running in the Democrat primary, right? So what would you agree with Biden
on? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think he, you know, what I agreed with, the thing that made me a Democrat, Charlie, is the traditional Democratic platform, which I would sort of check all the boxes. The Democrats were traditionally anti-war. They were skeptical of the military-industrial complex, of the corporate control of our democracy. They were pro-environment. They were pro-women's rights. And, you know, bodily autonomy. They were skeptical of the pharmaceutical industry and the other big corporations. So that's, you know, and those are the boxes that I would check. And I don't know how much of that, you know, I don't even know what President Biden believes in on those issues.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it used to mean to be a Democrat. I was a Democrat and from a Democrat family. And I voted for Obama each time, actually. So it was before my awakening to the evils of the Democrat Party. But I used to listen to MSNBC, Rachel Maddow and stuff, believe it or not. So I've converted, but now I'm really disillusioned by politics. But Kennedy, besides his Israel positions, is a decent candidate. So I'm glad that actually he's going to be running. So it actually gives us a choice besides Biden and Trump. But he's still super, super pro-Israel. And it's hard to get behind him when you hear him say some of the things he says about that. But Earthpond says, I hate listening to this guy because of his voice. That you're being offensive. You can't discriminate because of his disability. All right, let me see what else I have for you guys from Joe Biden. I mean, what else I have for you guys? And I have a few clips of Joe Biden. One relates back to the Colorado thing. He said that he would make sure that Trump couldn't run. Here's what he said.
G7 conversation was tied to your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
There you go. So that's what he said last year.
To your predecessor.
He looks already worse than he did last year. I noticed, like, here he looks like young Biden practically compared to how he looks now. So I have Biden again. What do I have Biden talking about? Oh, here's just a stupid clip of Biden saying that he's just trying to say that he's got the black vote. This is him currently.
I come from a state that has the 8th largest black population in the country. And as they say, the saying goes, where I come, you bring me to the dance early on. I come from a state that...
I don't think that's exactly the right. I don't think that's exactly the right statement. Okay. Finally, I want to thank Black Jesus, who I think might be Cadence Films from the chat, because she said she dropped me a coffee. Thank you for that. Black Jesus bought a coffee. I said I was Black Jesus. Actually, I said that on Twitter. People have it archived. They showed it to me. I said that I was Black Jesus. Yeah, I actually thought I might be part black for a second. If you missed it, you have to catch up on the old episodes. Thanks for the coffee. Who says, keep doing your thing, Nate. Thanks for streaming. I bless you, son. Thank you. Thank you for that. Black Jesus blesses me. Thank God. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thanks for the blessing. I'm taking it in. Thank you. That's at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Let me make sure to show you our t-shirts because they are on sale right now. I already promoted it, but this is what's available at truthclothing.io. Every price you see on these full priced items, 25% off with the code Mary25, just like it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen for this whole episode. So all of these, question everything, Bitcoin saves, Orange Jesus or Bitcoin Jesus. There's a meme coin called Jesus Coin, which has been doing okay. All right. So for some financial news, used car values are about to plummet. So we are right on the cusp, possibly, of a real economic collapse. It hasn't happened yet. The stock market was up again today, but we are right on the cusp. Here's a source saying that Blue Book value on cars is going to drop a lot in January. So I have that for you. That's news. And let me see what else I have. And then we'll just wrap up the show. Okay, so that's not super interesting. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. We almost got up to 100 today. That's good. Things are going well. Oh, here's more Joe Biden saying, is Trump an insurrectionist?
Is Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly you're self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, we'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. And no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything. Anyway.
That's Joe Biden, who's still running to be president. Some people say he's going to be replaced. Vivek today was saying he might be replaced by someone other than Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom, but he doesn't say who or whom. So I wonder who that might be. Oh, I have some news. Harvard University, you've heard about that. The black lady who's the head of Harvard University, or people claim is a diversity hire, and she used plagiarism in a lot of her papers. CNN actually covered it. People are shocked.
International lead. Is Harvard University really holding its president, Dr. Claudine Gay, to the same standards when it comes to the plagiarism that it would assail for students committing the same offense? You might recall Dr. Gay, along with the presidents of MIT and Penn, giving generally seen as disastrous testimony on Capitol Hill earlier this month. They failed to explicitly say that calling for the genocide of Jews on campus would violate their campus's codes of conduct. Now, that, as well as Gay's commitment to progressive policies, have made her many right-wing enemies who have recently raised issues about her scholarship. But regardless of the provenance of these allegations, there is also the matter of whether or not they're true. Harvard's top governing body said a review revealed, quote, inadequate citations by Dr. Gay in a few instances, but, quote, no violation of Harvard's standards for research misconduct, unquote. Now, Harvard's guide on sourcing says this on plagiarism, quote, in academic writing, it is considered plagiarism to draw any idea or any language from someone else without adequately crediting that source in your paper, unquote. Now, critics of Dr. Gay and Harvard's review of the allegations say that there is a double standard going on here. CNN's Matt Egan.
There you go. So they actually reported on it. Is the pendulum swinging, guys? Are we part of the pendulum swing? Like I said earlier, I've been doing this for a while, and it always seems people seem to think everything's getting worse, but everything does work on a kind of a pendulum. So sometimes CNN covered something else recently that was less expected from them. So now they're covering the Claudine, what's her name? Claudine Gay. That's correct. So now they're covering that as well. All right, guys, I can do a little Q&A, but I don't think I have enough people tuned in for it. Thanks everybody for tuning into the show. Really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a really great holiday. I mean it. If you need any help with cryptocurrency, remember you can text me, and you can reach out to me with whatever, either on Twitter at Lift the Veil 411 on Twitter. I'm Lift the Veil on there now. Or you can text me at 650-429-8294. 650 gay taxi. You can text me there if you need help with cryptocurrency or anything. Bitcoin's back at 44,000. I was just checking the price. 43,888 right now. Solana's over $94 also. So I can tell you about how to store it yourself, how to keep it off the books, etc. So whatever you need help with, if you need it, let me know. I love doing that. I love helping people one-on-one. Okay. So that's the show for you guys. Have a very, very Merry Christmas, or whatever holiday you might celebrate if I don't see you before then. So I might see you tomorrow still, but we'll talk. Okay. I might see you tomorrow still, because tomorrow's still Friday. So we'll see. All right. For now, that's what it is.